Hi, I'm Kathy, the Adult Services Librarian at the Waynesville Library, and today I'm going to show you this quick video on how to make these pretty knotted bead earrings. So the first thing that you're going to need is this string called tiger tail, and it's little teeny tiny wires. It's wrapped in plastic, and it's great for making beaded jewelry. And the other thing you're going to need is little tiny glass seed beads. They look like this. You can use any size. I like these small ones, which I think are 2 millimeter. Yeah, these are 2 millimeter. You can also use 3. The other thing you're going to need is these little metal clips. They're called fold-overs. And I'll show you when we zoom in exactly how they work. They're going to actually clamp all of your bead strands together. You're also going to need these little teeny tiny crimping beads, which I'll show you when we zoom in as well. Okay, and these instructions are online if you'd like to go on to the library's webpage and print them out. So the first thing you're going to need is 3 strands of this tiger tail cut into 12-inch strands. Of course, if you're going to make 2 earrings, you're going to need to do that twice. I'm just going to make 1 earring today. So you take these 3 strands, and now we're going to zoom in a little bit so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So you take your 3 strands and you slide them into this little crimping bead that I showed you. They're real soft, and you can just smash them with your pliers like that, and make sure you are really firm with that so that it gets completely formed into like a little clamp on your 3 strands. I'm not going to bead all 3 of these for you because that would be too tedious, but I've already done it with 3 of them. 3 of the strands have been beaded, 2 fully. This pink one I have not completed, so I'm going to show you that now. And you'll notice that I put a piece of tape on the end. That's to hold it in place until we're ready to clamp the other end. So these beads can be picked up with this wire really easily because the wire is kind of firm. And so what I do is I just pour my beads out, and then you can just pick them up with your strand like that. You can also pick them up inside the container if you like. I do that sometimes. But this works pretty well, and you just kind of pop them on there. And then when you get all 3, you want to make sure that they're even. So looks like I'm just gonna real carefully line them up. It's perfect. All right. So then you take a piece of tape, just so that you don't end up with beads everywhere, because it's real easy to do. And then you just wrap your tape around. Okay. So once you've got your tape, it's a good time to actually see that it's even, and that's perfect. Okay. So now you're going to want to secure these 3 together. So we're going to do the same thing, and this is where you really have to get a good grip on your wires because you're going to slide that tape off. It comes off real easily. And you're going to put all 3 of your wires together. All right, that looks good. And those are going to get inserted into another crimping bead. So what you're going to do is, if you need a magnifying glass, this would be a good time to get one out. But I think I'm going to be able to do it with just my reading glasses. Yeah, all right. So you just slide that over the 3 like that. And then you're going to do the same thing you did before. You're going to take your little smashing pliers. I'm sure there's a technical term for those, but then you're just going to do the same thing you did before. Clamp it down really, really hard so you don't lose your grip on that and your beads fly everywhere. Okay, so now you've got your 3 strands. And the next step is we're going to tie them into a knot. One thing I wanted to mention before I show you how to make the knot, you don't have to make it quite as long as this. If you'd rather not have your earrings this big, just don't cut the strands as long. So you can go with 8, 9, or 10-inch strands, use less beads, and you'll be able to make a shorter version, a smaller version of it. And I did want to mention that you will need about 600 glass seed beads to make 2 pairs of earrings. Okay, now we're ready to make our knot. With the ends facing away from you, we're going to make a pretzel knot. I'm looking at a diagram as I do this. I suggest you do the same. Just go ahead and print it out and have it in front of you. You're going to make a pretzel knot, which is just over and under, and then you'll see it looks like a pretzel with 2 long tails. And then I'm going to look at this diagram I have here to make sure it's laying right. I suggest you do that. It's a lot easier. Okay, so we've got our pretzel here, and then you take the right side, fold it under, pull your knot down, and your ends up. Okay, and then you connect your ends at the top. Again, the way that you do that is with this little thing that I showed you before. I hope you can see it in the camera. It's got a little hole at the end and a double-sided clip that folds over. Okay, so you are going to attach all of your ends inside of the clip. I hope you can see this. You see it's a little trough, and you just lay the ends in there. And then you use your little tool that you used before and just start clamping inwards. Sometimes it gets hung up and you gotta slide them back in. Now we're gonna put all the ends that we've crimped off inside this little trough-like little bead here. As you can see, it's got 2 sides on it. We're gonna put the strands inside there, and then we're just gonna close the sides of it so that the strands lay inside that little trough. So you just take your pliers and you press the sides down. Best to get one side down first and then follow with the second. All right, so then you just kind of pinch it down over it. As you can see, it's folded over. Secure it really well. Make sure you can't slide it. I always test it before I actually cut the ends off. And then you're just going to cut the ends of your wires off. And then all that's left to do is put the earring hook on, which is real simple. You open up this little, you don't need a jump ring, which is like a little ring that you attach. You don't need one with this because these little trough beads have the hole already on there. So you open that up like that, take your pliers, and you... Okay, so we've got our little trough bead there is pinched down. We've cut off our ends. Now we're ready to put our earring hook on. You don't need a jump ring. All you do is just open up the little hook at the bottom of the earring and you slide it on the... Well, it's always easier when nobody's watching. And then you just close it up with your pliers. And that's it. So it's real simple. You can make it small. If you see, the first one that I made was longer, and I pulled the knot down, and I used the whole 12 inches, 10 inches of the strand full of beads with an inch at either end crimped. You can make it your own. See, this is a looser knot. I wanted to show you how it looks if you do that, where the knot comes all the way up. It's just, I just didn't pull the knot all the way down, and I only used about, I would say probably 8 inches of the strand, and you see how much shorter it is. So you can custom make it and use whatever beads, whatever color combination you like. For the written instructions of how to make these lovely beaded earrings, just go to the library's webpage. And if you have any questions for me, don't hesitate to email me, and thanks so much for watching.